Good morning. 8 a.m., April 2nd. Little Bali Sunset Lounge. And then we're going to anchor. And I'll tell you why I'm playing this. I bought this CD when I was in Bali in 2008. And today is about happy mini memory movies or keeping 5 alive. I'll post the link, Bali Sunset Lounge by, I think it's Doré. All right. This one's called Sunburn, but we don't want to get sunburned. So I invite you to get into your mindful bodies. Allow yourself just to be present. Let's anchor in our breath with this beautiful Balinese music playing, or their version of it. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. And let me just turn this down for a moment. I want you just to sit in your mindful body and focus on your breath. And let's sit together for about a minute. It's about 10 breaths. Until you hear the sound of my bell, just notice how you feel. Notice any sensations in your body. Notice the thoughts that are present. Allow them just to literally just float on by like clouds. Bringing your attention to the breath, feeling it coming in through the nose and out through the mouth. So I'm going to ring the bell. Let's sit until I ring it again. So breathe in and breathe out. I will sit in my mindful body and let's just be present together. Breathing in, breathing out. Just focus on our breath and our body brings us fully in this moment. Just notice how you feel. So good morning. Let's have a sip of coffee together. I have a class at 8:30, so I'll try to get this all in. Gratitude. One of our practices will be gratitude, but today is about appreciating happy experiences. Mind Up curriculum you can get on Amazon, and then Keep 5 Alive comes from Momentous Institute. So let's just briefly talk about what's happening here in regard to appreciating happy experiences. So our brain literally doesn't know the difference between us being in an experience or recalling an experience. And what we're trying to do is create more positivity and neural connections because our brain is wired for the negative. Our brain is wired to keep us safe. So very, very basic brain science. Dan Siegel teaches the brain. So, you have the amygdala, the hippocampus, the prefrontal cortex. Prefrontal cortex is my wise leader. This is the place I want to operate for executive functioning, right decisions and all that. My amygdala is just the part of my brain that we call the security guard. It's the fight, flight, fright response. And the prefrontal cortex is your wise leader. Hippocampus is your memory keeper. But what happens is our brain is taking in all this information from our senses, and literally the amygdala, and I'm very oversimplifying brain science, but the amygdala is just kind of like, sending it here, sending it there. And all of a sudden, if it feels like there's a threat, it flips. The term is flip your lid. And that's when we go into fight with our fist, our words, or our feet. I tell the kids, flight, we run, fright, we're frozen. So a lot of us are in fight and fright right now because of everything that's happening in regard to the coronavirus. So the practice this week, though, is to cultivate the neural connections for the positive. And let me just read a little bit about the happy memories and how they support a can-do attitude. It says, why appreciate happy memories? Remembering a happy memory releases the feel-good chemicals in our brain, dopamine, that flood at the time of the actual experience. And we can practice mindfully recalling favorite memories as a strategy to achieve a variety of goals, including cultivating optimism, alleviating negativity, boredom, worry, priming our brain for learning new material, generating ideas from past experiences, and boosting our physical health. And so literally the dopamine, the neurotransmitter, it's that place of pleasure, attention, reward, motivation, perseverance. That's what it's associated with, all right? And the higher levels of dopamine in our brain result in feelings of hope, tolerance, motivation, and a can-do attitude, optimism. So the key is optimism. So the invitation is to do a happy mini memory movie like I do with the kids at school. So I played Bali Sunset Lounge, 2008. I'm with a group with Centers for Spiritual Living. We're in the exquisite, beautiful land of Bali, this beautiful island. And there's just the nature and the culture and the beauty and the spirituality. And this comes from Bali, all right? And so the invitation is, let me go back to something that I can appreciate that then will release that dopamine. Another big one for me is thinking about my nieces and nephews when they were little. And the interesting thing about that, in my 30s, I was actually sick. I was on long-term, didn't realize it was going to be a 10-year journey, but I was on long-term disability because of chronic fatigue immune dysfunction syndrome. It literally took me out of my field, which was television film production, and landed me at 30 in a 10-year journey of pretty much being sequestered like I am now, and deathly ill. I'm not exaggerating, and fear, and everything that you can imagine, the loss of everything in my life at 30. But when I go back to that time with my nieces and nephews, it's interesting. I don't think about the fact that I was sick and seriously ill. I think about them and the fun that we had. And Anthony, with his wild wavy hair at 3, I posted something, a journal or an email that I sent to friends called Sky Painter, where I'm outside with Anthony and Macy and Isabella, and he's drawing because there's this marmalade sunset happening, and he goes, Yayak. They couldn't say my name, Yayak, and he acts like he's painting the sky for me. And I called him Sky Painter, and I go, you painting a sky for your favorite aunt? And he goes, Yappa. And so that memory, can you see? Can you see me? Like right now, my brain is releasing dopamine. I am feeling it in my body. And so when I go back and appreciate a happy memory, I'm not trying to live in the past. I'm not bypassing the present difficult emotions. I'm doing this in a state of when I'm calm. So then that way I have this touchstone that I can go to that literally then triggers a positive brain response. So in Momentous Institute, the Keep 5 Alive is a way that kids can recall 5 things that can turn their mood around, things that make them feel happy, all right? So it has, on the back it says, here are 5 things that help me feel happy. So parents, just give your kids a sheet of paper, have them draw out 5 different things that make them happy, or write it out. But 5 things that can be their touchstone of truth in this moment of this uncertainty, being home, and just a challenging situation. But if we can find the good, and then we turn to these happy mini memory movies, or the keeping the 5 alive, 5 different things that I can think about. So I think about my nieces and nephews. I think about my trip to Italy this past summer with my family and meeting my Italian families. I think about some of my friends that I absolutely adore and the times that we had. I think about the kids at school and being able to teach mindfulness. And then I think about, the ability for me, when I'm taking pictures, the creativity or the expression, when I'm speaking to groups for inspiration. So those things make me happy thinking about them. So remember, it's a can-do attitude when we focus on appreciating happy experiences. And it also is an opportunity for kids to remember times that they did something, because right now it's crisis learning. You're home. Everybody's moving through uncharted territory. Difficult emotions are arising. So the reminder is, when you or your child is in that I can't, well, think of a time that you did. Let that then shift from the flipping of the amygdala, that fright and frozen response, to, oh, wait a minute, yeah, I remember when that was really hard, and then I did it about 10 times and I finally got it, all right? So it is the possibilities of transforming our lives by staying in the present moment, but appreciating happy experiences. And once again, the Mind Up curriculum and the Keep 5 Alive, which I don't think I can scan because of copyright, but have you sit, but have your child think of 5 different things that make them happy. And just remember that in doing so, we're not bypassing the present moment or anything difficult. You want this practice to happen when they're in a good mood and they can think about it, and then they can post this somewhere. And whenever they're feeling bored or frustrated or stressed, then let's shift into the moment, like recognize what you're feeling, where they're feeling it, but then recalling the happy experience, like I said, releases that dopamine. And then we're operating from that prefrontal cortex. And let's always drop into our hearts. Let's drop into our hearts. I'm going to be doing a parent Zoom room soon. We're trying to gather people, but teachers, parents, and then I'll have one for just the general friends. Just an opportunity to use these mindfulness skill sets to presence the current emotions that are arising. And this is just like day to day, a great practice. So right now, when there's more that we're surfing and navigating, it's fabulous to sit together with your family in a mindful minute, 2 minutes, just breathing, connecting. Those of you who are parents at Hexter Elementary, remember, I've trained your kids to be mindful leaders. Let them lead you in the anchor. Let them guide you in 5-finger breathing. And do these activities together as a way to remember, the good, a way to bring back those memories, things that we appreciate, to drop into our hearts, and then allow ourselves just to be in the moment, all right? We are all just walking through unknown territory, but we are here together, all right? So that's your practice today. Your anchor breath, you're appreciating happy experiences, keeping 5 alive, 5 things that make you happy, that then release that dopamine in your brain, that whole, let me turn to that it's filling my body, with that neurotransmitter that I'm feeling good, I'm feeling positive, yes, I can attitude. And we are shifting moment by moment. And once again, we're not bypassing difficult emotions. We're presencing them, but we are cultivating those positive connections. That's what neuroplasticity is all about. So just a very basic, simple brain science. Share this with your friends and family. I'll let you know when we have some Zoom rooms. I have to head into class at 8:30, but I love you. I'm grateful. I'm going to play a little bit more of Bali Sunset Lounge. I will post the link. I know this is copyright fair use only. Want Facebook to remember that. And I play this music as a reminder during a trip that was very transformative for me when I went to Bali. So I'm appreciating all the good in my life. I'll look at my Italy pictures, and that just brings me to that heartfulness, that prefrontal cortex, that appreciating, and just gives me just literally the power to be able just to be present, but also be able to move through what we're moving through mindfully, all right? So a little bit more music. We're going to anchor out. I love you. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. I'll be doing an inspirational video for us adults tomorrow. Tune in. Allow yourself to be present. Find the good. And just let's be here together, all right? So focus on your breath, anchoring in our body. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. So happy mini memory movies. We're appreciating the good that we've experienced. Keep 5 alive, 5 different things for the kids to recognize that made them happy. It supports us in optimism and resilience. Have a great day. Love ya. See you soon.